Alright guys, so I'm going to show you a couple things that are super important with MyFitnessPal. Once you download it on your phone, you're going to click on that tab and you're going to get this version right here. This was my yesterday's food log, but this is important. This says what your goal calories are for the day, what you actually consumed, and exercise. We're going to talk later, but we never want to input exercise because remember when we use that calculator initially, it asks us for a physical activity, so we can't double down on that. We can't double exercise, all right? And this was yesterday, so I was minus 13, meaning I went over 13 calories, not a big deal. But number one I want you to do is, now that you calculated those macros, is how to put them in manually, because when you sign on for an account and you say lose weight, what your goal weight's going to be, it's going to give you numbers itself. We don't want to use that calculator. MyFitnessPal has its own calculator, but it's not the one we want to use. So you're going to come down here to more, click on more, and you're going to go to goals, all right? Because we're basically just going to manually change the macros and the calories. You're going to go to goals. I have a bunch of stuff here. This is what I initially had to put in when I signed up for MyFitnessPal. None of this is important here because because I want to lose 2 pounds a week, it's going to set some calories according to what they believe they should be set at, and then my activity level. Disregard that. This doesn't matter either because I'm never putting in exercise, all right? What's most important, it says nutrition goals. I'm going to go to calorie and macronutrient goals, and here's that chart. So when I used that calculator online, these were the numbers it actually gave me to put in. So that's exactly what I did. This first one I set for calories. I manually inputted here. If you click on that, you can manually put on it. And here's the most important part. It's the percentages. So these percentages are going to equal what I'm trying to do. I was mocking somebody else's calories here, but if you look, it's going to say what the range is going to be percentage-wise. And why that's important is because without the premium account, you can't manually put in the grams. So we're going to bypass that and round these up to the either 25%. This says 28%. The thing with MyFitnessPal is, you notice here, they only allow you in increments of 5%. So I'm always going to try to do my fat first. I did mine at 30%. Again, these ranges can change according to where you feel like you need more of. If you need a little bit more protein or carbohydrates, depending on how you feel you perform well, or how you feel energy levels, that's fine, but this cannot exceed 100%, because if it does, it's going to increase your calories. That's not what we want to do. So I've hit my number there. The next three that I want to do is set my fat at 30%. If this says fat at 25%, that's easy. You're just going to set, once you've hit the calories, set that for 25%, and then go to your protein. If it says 28, let's round up to 30%, and then this will equal the rest to hit 100%. If you don't hit those numbers, see, once I click here, I have to hit those numbers to hit 100%. If I don't do that, it's not going to let me save it. Once I've saved that, I've done that, and you go back to your home page, and it's going to set that here for me. The other thing I love doing is the macro chart. If you click on that, let me go to yesterday so you can actually appreciate the numbers. If I click on here, it's going to give me some options at the top. This is my favorite, to see how many grams left I had of protein. I did not eat a lot of protein yesterday. I don't know why. I probably snacked a little too much, didn't eat enough meat. 21 grams of carbs, that's fine. I'm not real picky about that. And I went under a couple grams of fat. This is not a big deal because at the end of the day, I didn't excessively go over my calories, and that's super important here, right? It's not excessive at all. But if I go in here, you see some other things about your habits. Where do I eat most of my meals? Where are those calories coming from? Where are my most calories coming from in general? You can view a bunch of other cool stuff in here, so mess around with that when you get a chance. The other one's the frequent tab. I use this one a lot when I'm inputting my food for the day. Here's a good example for food. If I go to frequent, it saves a lot of the stuff I eat. I make a lot of sandwiches, so you see there's light mayo, there's mustard, there's rice. That stuff is good, all right? Let's say I had 2 eggs. I check on that. It saves it here, but let's say I had other stuff. I typically will make some eggs with some cheese. The cheese there it is right there, reduced fat cheese. I click on that. And let's say that's what I had for breakfast. Once I save it, it's in. It's great, right? Super easy. So the more you start inputting food, the more it's going to save under your frequent tab, the quicker it's going to allow you to put in. I can put in my whole day in under a couple minutes for sure. Now again, no exercise. When you come in here, it'll give you the option to put in exercise for the day. Do not do that. That's already been calculated. If you have these fancy Fitbits or any of those things, don't allow it to calculate for exercise, please, because you're going to mess up your numbers big time. The other one is adding friends. This is the neat feature that I want everyone to include. My friend name is Coach Mario. This is important because it becomes like a Facebook post almost. See, Katie Curry's already done it. And what's neat here is that we can comment back and forth. We can add likes. To do that, you just go back to this setting here and you're going to look for friends, and then you're going to look for me. All right, so these are a couple people I have. Janet's on there as well. That's super, super important because this is how I'm going to give you daily feedback. And last but not least, I want you at the end of each day, when you're done with the diary for sure, you're going to check that mark. It's to complete the journal. This is super important long term because it's super exciting at the end of each day. When you do this, it's going to give you, once I complete the diary, it's going to give me where I would weigh in 5 weeks. I think it's projected depending on when you put the end date. So this would say that if I continue at these macros for the next 5 weeks, that's where my weight will be. So pretty neat. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. Thanks, guys.